This is Most with Anna, a number I don't remember. It's been a long time. Let's see. So, I was working summer camps during the summer. Not going to tell you details because it's confidential, okay? Anyway, so I started going to small camps when I was a little girl, like I think 4 or 5 years old. And we did OMSI, that's the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. I love that place. We would do computer camps, we'd do zoo camps, science camps. I really liked it. And mind you, that's the 80s, 90s version of it. So we didn't have smartphones, and we didn't have like social media or your terribly advanced computers because they used to have MS-DOS. So you would go in before your main homepage and you like type in things and you could make the computer do different pictures. You can't do that anymore. And then I would do my first overnight camp. You had to be 10 years old. What should I tell you about this experience? It was a marine biology camp. I loved it. We went with OMSI too. I went down the entire Oregon coast, these beautiful places. I got to look at tide pools, and I was the most enthusiastic person because I did want to be a marine biologist. And you know what? I'd make the same amount of money, but I would be saving the whales. So I think that would make me really happy to save whales. Anyway, we had really fun activities, but I was not put with the best group. And there's this girl, really big bully. I mean, that happened to me a lot, and I don't know why. I'm cute. I'm fabulous. I'm cool. Yeah, they're rude, and they said, "Oh, XYZ," and no one asked, and get out of here. No one asked for you. I got that a lot. Try to be friendly, and what do you get? Anyway, this girl was so mean, and the nice girl stood up for her, which is not good. And this girl, like, she got really mad at me one night, and she said, "I'm gonna hit you in the head if you don't shut up." So, and I was laughing like, ha ha. I was like 10, like, what are you gonna do, lady? And she beamed me in the head. I thought, oh great. And we're only allowed to shower once that whole week. And more about that later. And all our counselors had to have code names. They wouldn't tell you your real name. And then finally our counselor said, "Oh, well, my name's actually Latoya." It's like, why did you do it in the first place? Because her name, she went by Turtle. I loved her very much, but she didn't know what to do with us. Yeah. And so I show up a week later and I'm filthy, and my mom says, "Anna, did you bathe?" "Mom, they let me bathe like one day." Oh. And this something happened in the bathroom with another counselor. My brother was there using it. And he said something pretty mean about me, which I'm just not going to repeat because of reasons. So I get home and I'm absolutely filthy, and my mom gives me a bath, and the bottom of the bathtub was full of dirt. And then, oh, this is going to be a long one. My next camp experience. How many of these do I have time for? Okay, it's Girl Scout camp. I've done the day camp with my troop. Interesting experience. Anyway, so it's Camp Arrowhead up in Washington. I mean, we have the most beautiful place in the entire world. The Pacific Northwest is just freaking gorgeous. We got huge trees. Oh my God, nature, beautiful water. It's not like Southern California, it's actually green. So anyway, I go to the camp and everything, you had to put your feet in bleach solution, and the food was absolutely horrid. I just wouldn't eat it, so I was very hungry the entire time. I've never since discovered the beauty of eating, but back then I was like, I don't want to eat that much. But anyway, and then I got a cold, and then that turned into bronchitis by the end of the week. Oh, you're gonna love how this story ends. Anyway, they also, okay, so I did cut myself like really badly on a log, and then they had to treat me with this, like, they had rubbing alcohol. Ow! And I was like, ah! And the woman, when the counselor, she was so mad at me, and they'd take up rubber gloves, and I thought, I just got hurt. I can put it on myself. Take care of this myself. I'm 11. I'm a big girl. And they held our male hostage. Yes, they held the male hostage. So what I did is like, okay. And without, when the counselors were looking, I snuck in and I stole our mail. And I was like a hero to everybody. And one girl said, "My dad's a lawyer. I'm gonna get him." Because you see, I come from a very privileged background where everyone's a doctor and a lawyer or a millionaire. So anyway, it was beautiful nature, but I got bronchitis and I was really hungry. So I show up on an air-conditioned bus. We went on this like regular school bus with no air conditioning. We came back on this big professional bus. So I come back and I was so sick. My mom would look at me. I was coughing up my lungs and I was pretty pale. I have rosy cheeks normally. My mom said, "Oh my God, Anna, you're sick. and I went across the way to the parking lot. If you know where Mall 205 is, that's where it was. Mall 205 is kind of, it doesn't really exist anymore, but that's where we met. And there's Newport Bay. It's called something else, but it was one of my favorite places to go as a family. We'd go there for Sunday brunch. I really loved it. Anyway, I go over there to have Cajun chicken tenderloins and a crazy amount of strawberry lemonades. Yeah, that was a great experience. And then I went and did it again at CYO Camp, Christian Youth Organization. That toasted. I'm going to tell you about that. And then there was the last camp I went to, Camp Gallagher, up in the Pacific Sound, Puget Sound. Oh my gosh, beautiful place. But actually, that's a camp where I managed to permanently injure my big toe. Yeah, I had my left toe. And what happened is that I was playing Frisbee. We had an overnight adventure because I was like 15. Yeah, I was 15. It was the overnight adventure. It's the last year you could go to a sleepover camp before you had to be a counselor or something. A junior counselor is what I would have been. I didn't want to do it. But anyway, we were playing Frisbee and I was barefoot on the wet grass. And so I slipped and my big toe went backwards and the rest of my toes went forwards because my toes are really flexible. And then I ended up cracking my toe and then I did a ballet camp afterwards. And I couldn't go fully on point, but the teacher didn't really care why I couldn't fully go on point. Like, lady, I think I cracked my toe. Yeah, I believe I did fracture it. We never knew. But anyway, now, I mean, it hurts. Is it because I'm in my 40s? I don't know. Anyway, that's a lot of experiences. But I do have the great outdoors. I'm a princess, though, so I'm like, the glamping is what I do.